Good morning and welcome in. Dan Hardenbrook, glad to have you along. It's Wednesday. Let's take a look at your latest local news from around the region. It is your Newberry News Update on M123 FM. Your Wednesday news headlines brought to you by your two-time award-winning local newspaper of the year. It's the Newberry News. Let's check out this week's front page headlines. Let's all go to the kids' tackle party. Pentland Township is switching engineering firms for its proposed sewer lagoon project. What's happening behind the Circle K? Roadwork ahead, including a project on M123 in Chippewa County. 10,000 acres of the Hiawatha Forest is set to be burnt. And this week's field research covers the spring migration. All those stories and more available inside this week's edition of your award-winning Newberry News. It's available now. In your latest local news on this Wednesday, several local organizations and projects have been selected as grant recipients for this year's cycle from the Chippewa Luce Mackinac Conservation District. The Chippewa Luce Mackinac Conservation District announcing recipients of their 2025 Conservation Grant Program. Local projects being selected as grant recipients include Portage Township and Curtis for their Portage Township Pocket Prairie. That project will receive a $2,000 grant. So too will the Tequamanon Area Public Library in Newberry for their library entrance garden space. The Top of the Lake Snowmobile and Museum in Nobbinway is getting $1,200 for a Harvest Host Butterfly Picnic Garden, all selected as part of this year's grant cycle program. A 64-day request period closed on March 12th, and the 2025 conservation grants now been awarded. It helps fund local conservation projects that support wildlife habitat, recreation opportunities, pollinator habitats, environmental education, dune restoration, and vegetative management. You can see the full list of organizations and individuals, as well as projects being highlighted as part of the 2025 grant program by checking out today's edition of the Newberry News. In total, the 2025 conservation grants will help 11 applications for projects totaling over $18,000 in funding. You can also get more information on how projects can be applied for next year's grant cycle program by, again, checking out that article, today's edition of the Newberry News. Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center has announced that the north entrance at the rear of the building, closest to the pharmacy and Coumadin Clinic, are now reopened and ready for use. Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center has been working hard on many different renovation projects to help enhance the hospital facility. They're getting closer to opening up. The north entrance, again, at the rear building, close to the pharmacy and Coumadin Clinic, is now reopened and available for public use. HNJH says that if you're visiting the Coumadin Clinic, use the convenient entrance located on the north side near the back of the building. You'll now have easier access. While they continue to work and renovate other areas of the facility, Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center is thanking the community, appreciating their patience, looking forward to welcoming everybody back once they're fully open with their revamped facility. Tequamanon Area Schools has announced a special school board meeting for the purpose of student discipline. Special meeting will take place Thursday, April 17th at 5:30 p.m. in the Tequamanon Area Schools meeting room. That's 104. If you have any questions, you can call 906-293-3226. Again, a notice of a special school board meeting for student discipline will be Thursday, April 17th, 5:30 p.m. at Tequamanon Area Schools. The Department of Natural Resources is urging the public to stay off trail systems as ice storm recoveries are continuing. Volunteers are also being asked to hold off on any park cleanup projects till the Department of Natural Resources can put specific plans in place. After a historic ice storm earlier this month, the Eastern Upper Peninsula is a part of a wide blanket area that was covered under a state of emergency. The Department of Natural Resources managed motorized and non-motorized trails are currently temporarily closed as safety assessments are ongoing. Infrastructure repairs and cleanups are already underway in some locations. Several state parks, campgrounds, boating access sites, and other locations are also temporarily closed until safe access can be restored, including the removal of hazardous tree areas and other damages. The Department of Natural Resources says that they've heard from many who are interested in assisting and volunteering to help clean up their local parks and trail systems. The DNR says, however, until they develop an approved volunteer action plan, they're asking interested volunteers to await for further instructions. They say for safety and to avoid hindering emergency operations, you should not attempt to work in any trail or state park cleanup project without explicit DNR approval. You can get more information by going online to the michigan.gov/DNR website. Michigan Works of the Eastern UP is going to help you win with their Newberry Job Fair. That's coming up April 29th. It'll take place from 3 until 5 p.m. at the American Legion Post 74 in Newberry. You can come get a head start on your next career or look for a change of pace. There's information in this week's edition of the Newberry News on how you can contact event organizers as to come with resumes and be prepared to pursue a new career. That's the Newberry Job Fair, brought to you by the Upper Peninsula Michigan Works, April 29th from 3 until 5 at the American Legion Post 74 in Newberry. I'm Dan Hardebrook. That is your latest local news this morning. It's your Newberry News Update on M123 FM. Your news today brought to you by your two-time award-winning local newspaper of the year. It's the Newberry News. It's Wednesday. Your latest edition of your award-winning Newberry News is available now. Time now to check in with sports this morning. The Detroit Tigers were shut down by the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday, falling 5-0. Detroit managed just one base hit in the contest, while the Brewers pitching staff kept them quiet. Tigers fall 5-0. They're now 10-7 on the season, still first place in the American League Central. A national championship winning quarterback from a Michigan university is on the move, making the jump from Division II to the SEC. Former Ferris State University quarterback Trinidad Chambliss is expected to land with Ole Miss in the transfer portal. Chambliss threw for almost 3,000 yards and 26 touchdowns, rushed for 1,000+ more, 25 TDs, being named a first-team All-American, and a finalist for the Harlan Hill Trophy, which is the Division II version of the Heisman. Chambliss helped lead Ferris State to a Division II national championship, now makes the jump to one of the toughest conferences in the nation. Head coach Lane Kiffin, a quarterback master, will take on the dual-threat Chambliss, who also considered Louisville as his next move. Chambliss could be jumping into big shoes. Former Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart is expected to be a first-round pick in the upcoming NFL Draft. Your latest local weather forecast from the National Weather in M123 FM. Mostly sunny on this Wednesday. Highs will be near 40. Northwest winds 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunshine. Highs will be in the low to mid-50s. South winds 5 to 10. Winds could gust as high as 20 miles per hour. Rain in the forecast Thursday night and into Friday. Showers likely. Friday high in the mid-50s to kick off the holiday weekend. I'm Dan Hardenbrook. This is your Newberry News Update on M123 FM.
Covering stories that interest the community, readers have come to depend on the Newberry News. Subscribe to the digital edition for early Wednesday morning access or get the print edition delivered to your doorstep. The Newberry News, your news and information leader.